Have you ever wondered what it really takes to live past 90 or even make it to 100? We often think it's just about luck or good genes, but when you listen closely to the stories of centenarians, people who've crossed the milestone of living a full century, you realize it's not just biology, it's mindset, it's choices, and it's the way they live their everyday lives. And the beautiful part is, many of their secrets are things each of us can start practicing right now, no matter our age. Imagine sitting down at a cozy kitchen table with someone who's seen the world change through wars, inventions, and generations. They pour you a cup of tea, their hands may be a little wrinkled, but their eyes shining with the kind of wisdom you don't find in books. You ask them, "What's the secret?" And instead of a complicated answer, they smile and share the simplest truths. Truths that have kept their hearts strong, their spirits light, and their lives long. That's exactly what we're going to talk about today. We'll explore what centenarians say about living long and how you can take their wisdom and apply it to your own journey. You'll find that these lessons aren't just about adding more years to life, but about adding more life to your years. One of the first things centenarians often say is that attitude matters more than almost anything else. Many of them don't dwell on the past, nor do they waste much time worrying about the future. They live right here, in this moment. Take, for example, a woman from Italy who celebrated her 104th birthday. When asked what kept her going, she laughed and said, "I don't get upset easily. I let things pass." Think about how powerful that is. Stress, worry, and holding grudges, all of these can weigh us down. Science even backs this up. Chronic stress can weaken our immune system, raise our blood pressure, and speed up aging. On the other hand, letting go, forgiving quickly, and staying calm can help us not only feel lighter emotionally, but also stay healthier physically. So what can you do to put this into practice? The next time something small irritates you, a long line at the grocery store, a neighbor who forgot to return your garden tool, pause, breathe, and ask yourself, will this matter a year from now? Chances are it won't. And in that moment, you've just given yourself the same gift centenarians give themselves every day: freedom from unnecessary stress. Closely tied to attitude is the power of purpose. Many centenarians say the reason they get up in the morning is because they still have something or someone to live for. Maybe it's tending a garden, cooking for family, volunteering, or simply feeding the stray cats that gather outside their door. Purpose doesn't have to be grand. In fact, it often shows up in the smallest routines. There's a man in Japan, over 100 years old, who still rides his bicycle to deliver vegetables to neighbors. Another centenarian in the United States said she looks forward to knitting blankets for babies at the local hospital. This sense of purpose keeps their days filled with meaning, and meaning is fuel for the soul. Studies have shown that people with a strong sense of purpose actually live longer, and they experience fewer health problems. Purpose gives structure to our days, and it gives us a reason to keep moving forward, even when life feels heavy. Now, here's a question for you. What gives your life meaning right now? It doesn't have to be complicated. Maybe it's taking care of your grandchildren, maybe it's keeping a few plants alive on your balcony, or maybe it's sharing stories and laughter with old friends. The point isn't how big the purpose looks, but how deeply it keeps your spirit engaged. If you haven't thought about it lately, take a moment to write down a few things that give you joy and motivation. That simple act can spark something powerful inside you. Another lesson centenarians share is the importance of staying connected. Loneliness is one of the silent enemies of aging. Many people feel isolated as they grow older, but centenarians often remain deeply woven into the fabric of their communities and families. In Okinawa, Japan, home to some of the longest living people in the world, elders often belong to what's called a moai, a lifelong circle of friends who support each other through everything. They share meals, celebrate together, and step in to help when someone is struggling. This constant companionship keeps their hearts full and their minds sharp. One 102-year-old woman from Greece once said, "My friends are my medicine." And truly, laughter with friends, hugs from loved ones, even just a warm chat over coffee, all of these moments are life-extending in ways no pill can match. Social bonds lower stress, boost our immune systems, and reduce the risk of dementia. You don't have to have a big circle of friends to feel this benefit. Even nurturing one or two close connections can make all the difference. Call a friend you haven't spoken spoken to in a while. Invite a neighbor over for tea. Join a local group, whether it's for walking, singing, or even just reading books together. Relationships are like oxygen for the soul, and centenarians know that staying connected is just as important as staying active. So far, we've talked about 3 powerful lessons from centenarians: keeping a light attitude, living with purpose, and staying connected. These aren't just abstract ideas. They're everyday practices that you can start weaving into your life right now. And the beautiful thing is, you don't need a lot of money, you don't need fancy equipment, and you don't even need perfect health to begin. You just need to take small, intentional steps to protect your peace of mind, nurture your sense of meaning, and invest in your relationships. When you hear centenarians speak, you realize they don't chase after youth or try to turn back the clock. Instead, they embrace the moment they're in, finding joy in the ordinary. A cup of coffee in the morning sunshine, a chat with a neighbor, a prayer before bed. These little things become the threads of a long, fulfilling life. And that's where we'll continue, because as much as attitude, purpose, and connection matter, there are still other habits centenarians practice that keep their bodies strong and their spirits alive even after 100 years. When we think about reaching 100, it's easy to picture it as a matter of sheer survival, just trying to last as long as possible. But when you listen to centenarians describe their lives, you realize it's not just about survival at all. It's about vitality. They don't simply exist, they thrive, even in small, quiet ways that keep them connected to life. One of the most striking habits they share is how they treat their bodies, not with harsh discipline or endless restrictions, but with balance and consistency. Food, for example, is a big theme. Many centenarians live in places where diets are naturally simple. In Okinawa, meals often include vegetables, tofu, rice, and fish, with very little meat or processed foods. They eat slowly, mindfully, and often stop before they feel completely full. There's even a phrase in Okinawa, hara hachi bu, which means eat until you're 80% full. That simple habit keeps them from overeating, and it's something science confirms is linked to longevity. Calorie restriction, when done naturally like this, reduces stress on the body and supports healthier aging. But it's not just about eating less, it's about eating well. In Sardinia, another region famous for centenarians, meals are often rich in beans, olive oil, whole grains, and garden vegetables. Wine is enjoyed in moderation, often alongside laughter and family. There's no obsession with diets or calorie counts. It's just wholesome, natural food prepared with love and shared with others. One woman at 103 years old said her secret was a bowl of minestrone soup every day and never eating alone. The food nourishes the body and the company nourishes the soul. That brings us to a practical thought. What's on your plate today? You don't have to copy the exact diets of people in Japan or Italy, but you can take the spirit of it. Fill your meals with colorful vegetables, fresh fruit, beans, nuts, and whole grains. Cut back a little on heavily processed foods and eat slowly enough to actually enjoy the taste. If you can, share your meals with someone, because half the magic of food is who you eat it with. Hand in hand with how centenarians eat is how they move. What's fascinating is that many of them don't do exercise the way we think of it today. You won't find most of them running marathons or lifting heavy weights at the gym. Instead, their movement is woven naturally into their daily lives. They walk often, tend their gardens, do chores by hand, climb stairs, or ride their bikes. These small, consistent movements keep their joints flexible, their muscles engaged, and their circulation strong. Think about a 101-year-old farmer in Costa Rica, still getting up before dawn to tend his fields. Or the 98-year-old woman in Okinawa, who kneels to work in her garden every day, standing and squatting dozens of times without thinking of it as exercise. These movements keep them strong not just physically, but mentally too, because they're connected to purpose. Gardening means food on the table. Walking to a neighbor's house means companionship. It's movement with meaning, and that makes all the difference. Now, if you're listening to this and thinking, well, I can't kneel in a garden anymore, or I'm not strong enough to ride a bike, don't worry. The lesson here isn't about pushing your body to extremes. It's about keeping it in motion in ways that feel natural and joyful for you. A gentle walk around your neighborhood, stretching while listening to music, even standing up and sitting down from a chair, several. Times can be powerful exercises when done regularly. The key is consistency. Your body is like a stream. When it keeps flowing, it stays fresh. When it stagnates, problems begin. Another piece of wisdom centenarians often share is about rest. In a world that constantly pushes us to do more and move faster, they remind us of the importance of slowing down. Naps, for instance, are common among long-lived communities. In Ikaria, a Greek island known as the island where people forget to die, afternoon naps are part of the rhythm of life. Resting in the middle of the day lowers stress, reduces the risk of heart disease, and helps people stay energized into the evening. But it's not just about naps. It's about respecting your body's natural rhythms. Many centenarians go to bed early, rise with the sun, and spend their evenings in calm, restorative activities like reading, prayer, or conversation. That steady routine signals to the body that it's safe, that it can restore itself, and that makes sleep deeper and more healing. You might be surprised how powerful small adjustments can be. Try giving yourself permission to rest without guilt. If you feel tired in the afternoon, allow yourself a short nap instead of pushing through. Create a calming bedtime routine, dim the lights, put aside the phone or TV, and enjoy a few quiet moments before sleep. Rest isn't wasted time. It's one of the building blocks of longevity. Beyond food, movement, and rest, centenarians also share a surprising relationship with joy. They don't deny that life has been hard. Many of them have lived through wars, pandemics, and loss. But despite that, or maybe because of it, they treasure moments of laughter and joy. A 100-year-old man in New York was once asked what kept him going, and he answered simply, "I laugh every day." Laughter reduces stress hormones, boosts the immune system, and even helps reduce pain. It connects us to others and reminds us not to take life too seriously. Think about the last time you had a really good laugh. Your body probably felt lighter, your mood brighter, your worries smaller. That's medicine. Centenarians often find joy in the simplest things: singing songs from their childhood, playing cards with friends, telling jokes that make everyone roll their eyes but laugh anyway. These little sparks of joy build resilience. So take a cue from them. Watch a funny movie, call that friend who always makes you laugh, or spend time with children whose laughter is contagious. Life can be heavy, but it's lighter when you choose to sprinkle it with humor. By now, you can see that the wisdom of centenarians isn't about one big secret. It's about many small choices: eating in balance, moving naturally, resting deeply, and laughing often. Each of these habits doesn't just add years to life, they make those years worth living. They remind us that health is not just about avoiding illness, but about creating a rhythm that feels good and sustainable every single day. And that brings us to something even deeper, because alongside all these physical habits, centenarians carry something within them that guides how they face life's challenges and uncertainties. It's an inner strength, a way of looking at the world that helps them endure storms and celebrate sunshine. As we move deeper into the lives of centenarians, one thing becomes crystal clear: longevity isn't just about what you put on your plate or how much you move your body. It's also about what you carry inside your heart and mind. The longest living people in the world tend to share a quiet but unshakable resilience, the kind that helps them weather storms without losing their sense of hope. Many of them talk about faith, whether that's faith in God, in life itself, or simply in the idea that tomorrow can be better than today. Faith gives them perspective. They've lived through wars, lost loved ones, and seen hardships we can only imagine. Yet when asked about their lives, they often smile and say, "It's been good." That attitude doesn't come from a life free of challenges. It comes from choosing to focus on gratitude instead of bitterness. One centenarian from Costa Rica said, "I thank God every morning when I open my eyes, and I thank Him every night when I go to bed." That simple practice of gratitude doesn't just lift the spirit, it rewires the brain. Science now shows that people who regularly express gratitude have lower rates of depression, better sleep, and stronger immune systems. Gratitude is like a protective shield, keeping negativity from taking root. And gratitude doesn't always have to be grand. It can be as small as appreciating a cup of tea in the morning, a bird singing outside your window, or the way sunlight warms your skin. Centenarians teach us that life is made up of these small joys, and noticing them adds richness to every day. Alongside gratitude is another powerful trait: adaptability. People who live to 100 have usually reinvented themselves many times over. They've had to learn new skills, accept changes in the world, and adjust when their bodies no longer do what they once did. Instead of fighting change, change, they find ways to bend with it. Like a tree in the wind, they sway, but they don't break. Think about it. Technology alone has changed dramatically in their lifetimes. Many centenarians were born before radios were common in households, and now they see smartphones everywhere. Instead of rejecting every change, many simply adapt sometimes. Slowly, sometimes reluctantly, but adapt nonetheless. That flexibility keeps their minds open and their spirits less weighed down. And adaptability applies to our health, too. A woman in her 90s who used to love dancing but could no longer stand for long periods said, "So now I dance with my hands." She found joy in movement even when her body limited her. That's the mindset. Don't give up what you love. Just find a new way to keep it alive. There's also the wisdom of forgiveness. Many centenarians stress the importance of not holding grudges. Carrying anger and resentment is like dragging a heavy sack everywhere you go. It slows you down and steals your peace. A man who celebrated his 105th birthday put it plainly. I don't argue. If someone is wrong, I let them be wrong. It's not worth it. Imagine how much lighter life feels when you stop trying to win every battle. So maybe ask yourself, is there something you've been carrying for years that you could finally set down? Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting, and it doesn't mean saying what happened was okay. It simply means refusing to let past hurt control your future happiness. Centenarians know that letting go is one of the best medicines for the heart. Another striking thing is their sense of play. Even at 90, 100, or beyond, many of them find ways to play like children. They might sing, dance, tell jokes, or play cards. They don't stop enjoying life just because of age. In fact, they seem to understand that playfulness is what keeps age from taking over completely. This playful spirit often goes hand in hand with curiosity. Many centenarians keep learning, whether it's trying a new recipe, learning a new word, or picking up a hobby later in life. Staying curious keeps the brain active and prevents life from feeling stale. It reminds us that no matter how old we are, there's always something new waiting to be discovered. Now, as we step back and look at all of these lessons, attitude, purpose, connection, balance in food and movement, rest, laughter, gratitude, adaptability, forgiveness, playfulness, it becomes clear that the secret to longevity isn't really a secret at all. It's about how you live each day, not how many years you rack up. Longevity is the natural result of building a life that is light, purposeful, and joyful, even in small ways. So, what can you take away from the centenarian's wisdom? Maybe you'll start by letting go of a small frustration. Maybe you'll call a friend and share a laugh. Maybe you'll put a little more color on your plate at dinner, or go for a short walk with gratitude in your heart. These aren't giant changes, but they build up like layers of strength, protecting your body and uplifting your soul. And here's something beautiful to remember. You don't need to aim for 100 to make these lessons worth living. Even if you only add a few more months or years, the real reward is in the quality of those days. Living long is wonderful, but living well, that's the real treasure. So, as you go forward, remind yourself that it's never too late to choose joy. It's never too late to make a new friend, to forgive, to start a small habit that makes you feel better. Whether you're 60, 70, 80, or beyond, your story isn't finished yet. And with the wisdom of those who've walked this path before us, you can make these years some of the best yet. If you found inspiration in these words, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you have a habit or a piece of wisdom that you think adds life to your years? Share it in the comments, because your story might be the encouragement someone else needs today. And if this message has touched you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. That way, we can continue walking this journey together, exploring more ways to stay healthy, joyful, and full of purpose at every age. Remember, longevity isn't about adding time to the clock. It's about filling that time with love, gratitude, laughter, and peace. Here's to living not just longer, but better. Here's to living your best life at any age. When you listen long enough to centenarians, there's one more thread that ties their stories together, something that goes beyond food, movement, rest, or even attitude. It's the way they see themselves in the bigger picture of life. They don't view aging as a burden. They see it as a privilege, something to embrace with dignity and even pride. That mindset shifts everything. So often in our modern world, aging is treated like like something to fight against at all costs. We chase creams, surgeries, and fads that promise to make us look younger, as if the lines on our faces or the gray in our hair are something to be ashamed of. But centenarians rarely talk about fighting age. Instead, they lean into it, wearing their years like a badge of honor. Every wrinkle is a story. Every scar is proof of resilience. Their lives remind us that age is not a decline. It's an accumulation of wisdom and perspective that younger generations simply don't yet have. One 101-year-old woman put it beautifully. "My face shows the map of where I've been, and I wouldn't trade it for the world." What a refreshing way to look at it. Instead of mourning the years behind her, she celebrated the life she'd lived. That acceptance keeps the spirit lighter, because resisting time only creates stress, but embracing it opens the door to peace. This mindset doesn't just affect how they see themselves, it also influences how they connect to younger people. Many centenarians feel a deep responsibility to share what they've learned. They tell stories, pass down recipes, teach skills, or simply sit and listen to their grandchildren and great-grandchildren. That exchange of wisdom creates a bridge between generations, and it gives both sides a gift. The younger ones gain perspective, and the older ones feel valued and needed. You can see it in villages in Sardinia, where grandmothers and grandfathers are central figures in daily family life, always present at meals and celebrations. Or in Okinawa, where elders are consulted before big decisions are made. This sense of belonging to a larger family unit keeps centenarians rooted in love and purpose. It's a reminder that life is richer when it's shared, not siloed. And here's something practical you can do. No matter where you are, find a way to share your story. Write down some memories from your childhood. Cook a meal from a family recipe, or simply call someone younger and ask how they're doing. Passing on your experience keeps you connected and ensures that your life's lessons live on. At the same time, it nourishes you with the feeling that you still matter, which you absolutely do. Another subtle but powerful lesson centenarians teach us is patience. Think about it. To live a century is to wait through countless seasons of change. You don't rush through 100 years, you pace yourself. Many of them talk about taking life one day at a time. They don't get caught up in the rush or in chasing too much too quickly. They understand that time is both precious and abundant, and that most things don't need to be solved in a hurry. A centenarian farmer in Costa Rica explained it this way: "The trees don't grow faster because I shout at them. They grow when they're ready. Life is like that." That perspective can take the pressure off. When we allow life to unfold instead of forcing it, we often find more peace and less frustration. It's the same with health. Centenarians don't usually aim for perfection. They know they'll have aches, pains, and limitations, but they take it in stride. They do what they can with what they have, and they accept what they cannot change. That balance between effort and acceptance is what keeps them going. And then there's community celebration. Many centenarians live in cultures where birthdays, holidays, and local festivals are still honored with joy. Gathering together, dancing, singing, and sharing food are not just for the young, they're for everyone. That sense of belonging and celebration makes life feel fuller. It reminds us that life is meant to be enjoyed, not just endured. If you think about your own life, when was the last time you celebrated something, not just a big holiday, but something small, maybe a personal achievement, a family milestone, or even just the gift of being alive today? Celebration doesn't require a crowd. It can be as simple as lighting a candle at dinner, putting on your favorite music, or treating yourself kindly. Centenarians show us that joy multiplies when it's acknowledged, even in little ways. What stands out most is how all of these lessons weave together: attitude, purpose, connection, balance, rest, laughter, gratitude, forgiveness, play, patience, acceptance, and celebration. They form a tapestry of a life that's not just long but deeply lived. Each habit is a thread, and together they create something beautiful and strong. So maybe today is the day you begin weaving your own tapestry with a little more intention. Maybe you'll forgive someone you've been holding anger against. Maybe you'll laugh more freely, even at your own mistakes. Maybe you'll eat a little slower, rest a little deeper, or share a story with someone who needs it. Each choice, however small, moves you closer to the kind of life centenarians talk about, not just long, but full of meaning. And if there's one final message centenarians would likely want us to take away, it's this: don't wait to live. Too often we think, "I'll be happy when," or "I'll enjoy life once," but those who've reached 100 know that the secret is to live now, to find beauty in the present moment, no matter your circumstances. Because life isn't waiting, it's happening, right here, right now. So let me encourage you. Take a deep breath, smile, and remember that that your years are not behind you, they are with you. Every day is a gift, and every choice is a chance to create a richer, more joyful life. Whether you live to 80, 90, 100, or beyond, the measure of your life won't be just the years you counted, but the love, gratitude, and joy you poured into them. If this message has resonated with you, I invite you to share it with someone you care about. Tell them what you've learned and maybe even practice one of these centenarian secrets together. And don't forget to subscribe, because we'll keep exploring the habits, wisdom, and stories that help us live our best lives at any age. Here's to embracing every day, to living fully, and maybe, just maybe, to dancing your way into 100 years and beyond.